Hi beautiful souls, and welcome back to my video. So this video is going to be interesting, especially for those of you that are still trying to find your purpose, okay? I believe we all have a purpose in life, and it's simply just a matter of finding it, right? For me, it took a while to find my purpose. And while for some people it's very easy, right? They know kind of like almost immediately, right, what they want to do. It's clear as light, right? Or it's clear as day. So for me it wasn't, and I'm sure for a lot of you it isn't also. I've known a lot of people who are, they're into their 40s, right? And they still haven't really discovered their purpose, which is okay, right? Because we all have our path, like our own path to follow. And just because someone finds their purpose early on doesn't mean that you have to also, right? So it's just a matter of searching, right? I believe, like, I know it's a cliche saying, right? But by searching or by seeking something, you find it, right? Eventually you'll find it. So it's just a matter of searching and seeking and really trying to find your purpose, right? So that's kind of like what this video is going to be about, okay? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to give you 8 signs that you've got the healing gift, okay? And, a lot of us are healers, right? Or we kind of become healers without really even realizing it, right? And yeah, so that's what I'm going to talk about, right? And if you don't know what your purpose is, perhaps, your purpose is to heal others. Perhaps it's to help others, right? To inspire others and to motivate others and to really make people feel understood, right? And heard. Anyway, so that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Okay, guys, so truly great healers, right? Um, they have been through hell and back, okay? And they kind of learned how to take care of themselves better. They gain the skills, right, to take care of themselves better. And I'm gonna make some videos, right, on how you can take better care of yourself too. Okay, and a lot of different things are involved, right? But it is all about listening to your inner voice, your intuition, and doing what feels right at any particular moment, right? So taking care of yourself, right? And doing the inner work to heal within, right? Going through what might have traumatized you in the past, right? Going back to your past and healing that inner child, right? Nurturing that inner child, forgiving other people, right? That will also make you into an amazing healer, right? But because, guys, as the saying goes, right? Hurt people, right? And the opposite is true, right? Healed people heal people, right? So, or they can help heal people, right? They probably can't really do that job entirely, right? But they can definitely help. So by healing and helping yourself, taking care of yourself, you can take care and help other people too, right? Maybe you'll offer them tips and advice, right? Maybe you'll be a great listener, right? Maybe you know so much about psychology now that by speaking to you, these people will also learn a lot from you, right? Which in turn will help them heal their own trauma and their own past, right? Um, so yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, so another sign that you probably are a healer, right? Or your purpose is to be a healer is that you're drawn to the healing professions. It's as simple as that, right? You want to help others, you want to make them feel good, helping others, right? Perhaps teaching them something, right? Perhaps, helping them with their problems, right? Perhaps, sharing your knowledge, right? Perhaps making them their lives better somehow, right? That makes you feel amazing, right? And so you're drawn to professions that kind of help you do that, right? So be it nursing, be it becoming a therapist, right? Be it a doctor, right? Be it really anyone in the medical field, right? Or perhaps even a teacher, right? Because teachers, as I've learned, right, they're not just teachers. A lot of them, motivate other people. A lot of them, help other people in other ways too, right? They can be a great ear to listen, right? So they can offer a great ear to listen to someone, right? And so they can feel others heard and understood, right? Maybe they can, you know, offer advice, right? Or maybe they can, because teachers, they get to know their students really well, right? And they see their students' strengths and weaknesses, right? So perhaps they can point them they can point their students into the right direction, right? Into the direction of where their students can find purpose, right? And so, yeah, so teachers are also, they can definitely be healers. Um, and then what else? Oh, yeah, massage therapists, right? Maybe it's personal trainers, maybe it's nutritionists, right? Um, Someone that can heal your body, right? That offers, that can help you, um, you know, um, that can educate you. As to what proper nutrition looks like, right? So you can, become your best version, right? And start eating healthy and in turn heal your own body, right? And your own mind. And so, yeah, that all of that, right? All of those professions are extremely healing. And so if you're drawn to that, then you're probably a healer. So, guys, another indication that you're are likely to be a healer, right? Or you have the potential to become a healer, is that you've always loved kids and animals. You might have been, when you were a little girl, right, or a teen. Perhaps you were a babysitter, right, and you just loved playing with kids, and they loved you, right? And I know that when I was a kid, right, I just really adored kids, and I genuinely like just like loved playing with them, right? And they loved me, right? And I kind of like set a lot of kids in our neighborhood because I was recommended by others. When they do something well, right? When they can tell that you really enjoy what you're doing, it kind of like you get the benefits of that too, right? Because you get recommended, right? When you're passionate about something, you're naturally good at it too. And so when I was a kid, I became a babysitter. So all the parents just started recommending me left and right, and I had a lot of work because of that. And I really, really did enjoy my work, right? I enjoyed babysitting because, because I loved kids, right? So that's one other thing, right? Is that you really love animals and you love kids and they love you back, right? They feel that you have a big heart, right? That you are a kind of person and that you like them. And naturally, when we feel when someone likes us, right? And so you're drawn to that person too, right? If someone likes you, you tend to like them back, right? And vice versa. If someone doesn't like you, you also kind of tend to not like them back. That kind of happens automatically, right? So one other thing that's kind of funny also is that you're probably followed by animals all the time, right? Like, for example, I have 5 cats now, right? And so I've never had 5 cats before, guys, but we live on the first floor, right? And on the bottom floor, I mean, it's not, yeah, I guess it can be considered the first floor, right? But basically all kinds of animals can get in. And so I have like dogs coming to our balcony. I have dogs following me around everywhere. you know, cats, all kinds of animals, right? You know, in the past, people have been bitten before, right? But I wasn't bitten. And, you know, I remember like me and my brother and my mom, they tried to feed the raccoon, right? The raccoon bit both of them, but it took the food from me like really carefully. Anyways, I also had a horse following me around just recently. And everyone was just kind of like looking and laughing, you know, and I wasn't really scared of it. I also love horses, right? Anyway, so this kind of happens and it's really funny. But yeah, it's another thing, right? That should be your clue as to you know, whether you're a healer or not, right? Animals can sense it, kids can sense it, so you'll always be surrounded by kids or animals, basically. And it's cool. You love it too because you love them just as much. And last but not least, guys, is that you are aware of your energy, okay? And you tend to do everything in your power to keep yourself balanced, okay? You tend to do everything in your power to make other people feel comfortable, right? When they're around you. So you're extremely self-aware, right? And you're really, really aware of other people's body language, right? And other people's emotions and energy, right? So you read people extremely accurately, right? And while you're talking to them, you can make them feel, because of all of that, right? Because you can read body language so well, you can also kind of read their body language. And so, and you're, because you're so self-aware and you're aware of your body language and how you're coming across, right? Is that you can change things around, right? So if someone begins to feel uncomfortable in your presence, you kind of notice this, right? And perhaps you adjust your own body language a little bit, right? Maybe you start speaking more softly, right? Maybe you uncross your arms, right? Maybe you and I spoke about this in one of my other videos, right? But you can read someone else's body language and you adjust accordingly, okay? And that makes the other people or the other person feel more comfortable with you. And so, you know, they tend to open up, right? Because they begin to trust you, kind of. So yeah, you're aware of your energy, right? And if you are, for example, in a bad mood, right, you kind of tend to stay away from people, right, during those days, if you're able to, right? Or if you're aware of someone else's bad mood or bad energy, right, then you tend to stay away from those people too, right? So you tend to carry a very good energy because you take care of not just your physical body, right? But your spiritual body as well, okay? A lot of healers, they tend to meditate. They spend a lot of time in nature because they know it's healing. You know, in nature, we kind of, you know, it's not just the fresh air that makes us feel really good, right? But it's also the sounds, different sounds, right? It's different frequencies, right? That make us feel good and put our mind at ease, right? You know, the sound of birds, right? Or perhaps the sound of waves, right? Hitting the sand. Maybe it's just the wind, right? Maybe it's crickets, right? But nature has and offers a lot of different sounds, right? And those are extremely healing to our nervous system, right? And so healers tend to spend a lot of their time outdoors, and they're very much aware of how they're coming across, right? And of their own energy, okay? And that's extremely healing to others, right? Being around someone who has a positive energy is extremely healing to other people. So guys, another thing that's a pretty strong indication of the fact that you're a healer or can potentially become a healer is that you are really curious about other people, okay? And you really care about them, okay? You know, you've always been like this, right? You've always been curious about other people, and you always really, really cared about other people. You definitely don't want to see them get hurt, you're not a jealous kind of a person, right? And you generally wish people well and you want them to succeed, okay? And you've always been like this, right? So you've got a good heart, right? Of course, people will sense this too, right? They will sense your good heart and they will be drawn to you, right? So yeah, that's definitely an indication of a healer, right? Of someone that will attract a lot of people to them, right? It doesn't matter what you're going through right now, right? In the past, I've kind of experienced a lot of um, difficulties, right? I've questioned people's decisions, I've questioned their motives, right? And I've been very disappointed in other people, right? And their words, their actions, right? But of course, I'm not perfect myself, right? I've done some things that I'm not proud of, right? So, as a healer, as a person who is an empath, you understand that we're not perfect, right? We all have our own faults, and just because people's actions are not in alignment with who they are, doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad people, right? I believe the majority of us are good people. It's just we've forgotten or we're misled. We've forgotten who we are, and once again we get caught up in our ego, right? But it doesn't mean that cannot change, okay? It doesn't mean that we cannot change that, right? That we cannot change our life. And just because we hurt others at this time, right? Or our actions are hurting others, right? Doesn't mean that we're necessarily malicious about it. In most cases, we're unconscious of what we're doing, or we're so caught up in our ego that we just don't see, right, how our impact or how our behavior is impacting other people, okay? And so I believe this has more to do with just ignorance, unconsciousness, right? And not realizing what we're doing. Of course, there are, that's not to say that everyone is like this, right? There are some people that truly are, mean to their core, bad to their core, bad apples, right? And truly, truly broken souls, right? And what they're doing tends to be conscious, and that's very unfortunate, but it is true, and yeah, but I believe the majority of us, right, we're not like this. So, another sign that you're a healer, right, is that you attract damaged people and people that are traumatized all the time, all the time, all the time, left and right, right? Um, it's um, it's pretty, honestly, it's a little bit unsettling after a while, right? You begin to think that something is wrong with you, right? And you keep on asking yourself, like, why do I attract so many narcissists, right? Why do I attract so many psychopaths? Why do I attract so many just crazy people, right? People with obvious mental health issues, right? And Yeah, part of it has to do with because of your empathy, because you've probably healed yourself, because they sense that you know they sense that you're a kind person, right? They sense that you will probably be able to emphasize and listen to them, and they sense all of that in you, right? And so they're drawn to you. And that's why you attract them, for the most part. Whether they know it consciously or not, right? They sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Guys, I will tell you a story, okay? So I was in San Francisco once, and this was really insane, honestly. At the time, I was thinking, what is he doing? I wasn't as conscious, and there was this guy, right? And we've met, and we just we just started kind of getting to know each other a little bit, right? And I realized that he was really darn insane. Anyways, and you know, I've always been kind of like fascinated by people like this because they're so strange, so unique, right? And I wanted to get to the bottom of why they were the way that they were, right? And I kind of, of course I spoke to him, and we chatted and we laughed and we had a good time, but then I kind of decided to stop seeing him, right? And so he started texting me and texting me and texting me. I remember him sending me like probably 200 messages maybe a day, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, I was really freaked out about that, right? Anyway, so and some of the things that he was telling me was like, hey, you have to heal me, you have to heal me. Um, you must, right? And I was like, what? I was like, what is he talking about? You have to heal me. That makes no sense. This sounds really ridiculous and strange, right? Anyways, one thing that you should also realize if you're someone like this guy, right, is that you have to heal yourself. You have to be able to heal yourself. Nobody can do this for you. I mean, of course, people can help, right? Healers can help, right? But it's really your job, right? It's kind of like an alcoholic, right, that drinks, right, and or a drug addict that does drugs, right? If he doesn't want to help himself, then no healer can heal him, okay? So really, it's an inside job. You have to realize this. You have to take responsibility for that. You have to do the inner work, right? You have to realize that you have an issue, and you have to try to solve it, right, yourself, and do the inner work that is required, right? So of course healers, they can help you, right? But it's not their job really to heal you, okay? So this guy should have realized this, right? And he should have backed off, and like I said, he did feel like I was a healer, right? And he kind of, even told me straight out, like, heal me. And of course at the time I was like, what is he talking about? He sounds insane, and like, but of course he had a point, right? So you are a very empathic person, okay? You're an empath, right? If you guys are familiar with this term. And you can be an empath if you're a guy or a girl. I've known guy empaths and girl empaths too, right? So it doesn't matter what your sex is, right? You can be an empath as a guy or as a girl. Anyways, I would say that empaths are pretty rare, okay? And if you are an empath, then you feel everything, okay? You feel the emotions of other people, and it's clear as day, especially if you're in tune with your higher self, right? If you're in touch with yourself, if you're in touch with your own emotions, right? Then you can really, really sense other people's emotions, okay? And also, guys, this is actually it's backed by research, okay? So research suggests, right, that humans can communicate emotions or their emotional states, right, via chemo signals, okay? So this is backed by research, okay? It's not just like some mumbo jumbo, right? So we can feel other people's fear, humiliation, right? Perhaps embarrassment, happiness, right? Anger, definitely anger, right? So really, most emotions, even sexual arousal, that's felt. Have you ever heard of people like talking about sexual chemistry? There's someone like this in a room, right? Of people, or there are a lot of people. Most people will be able to sense that. Okay, that sexual chemistry between two people. So That's kind of interesting, right? Anyway, so if you're an empathic person, right, you're bound to feel everything, all of that, okay? Whenever someone is angry, right? Whenever someone is, happy, whenever someone is embarrassed, and so on, right? They don't even have to communicate. And how it comes, I have a lot of experience in this because I'm an empath myself, right? So, it kind of happens this way, right? Let's just say, something was said, right? And then you kind of tune in, right? And that energy gets sent out. Maybe perhaps someone was pissed off, right? You don't even have to look. You can just feel their emotion, like right there and then, right? You don't have to look. You can feel the emotion that's coming from that person, and you know it's coming from them. It's very strange. So when it comes from them, let's just say it's anger, right? You pick up on it, and your mind tells you, okay, anger, bam, right? And then you can look right into their direction, and you'll see like a very angry face, right? And um, you know, perhaps I will give you like an example with this, right? And it's not your own emotions, right? Because maybe something that you said, it didn't provoke any anger in you, right? But it provoked anger in another person, right? And maybe it provoked another feeling in someone else, and then another feeling in someone else, right? So if you're in the same room with those people, you'll be able to kind of feel all of that. And I don't know, it's very strange, but you know exactly who it's coming from. So that's kind of cool. And another cool thing is you can read the energy of others, and you know exactly who it's coming from, which can be very unsettling too sometimes, because yeah, I've experienced this, right? And at certain times I was like very kind of regretful about what I said, to kind of cause those emotions. I felt really, really bad, right? Anyway, so that's another thing is, right, about empaths is that they feel other people's feelings and emotions, right, very deeply. And they're like sponges. If they're not careful, if they're still kind of amateurs, right? If they don't know that they are empaths, right? Then they will absorb a lot of those emotions into themselves, right? So actually, and as an experienced empath, you kind of you can protect your own energy, right? And you can identify the energy of others and your own, right? So you can distinguish between that, and you can so you won't absorb other people's negative emotions, basically, right? So another thing is, right, like concerts are amazing because of this, right? I love going to concerts, and like I've been to like Life in Color, and in San Francisco, right? I think it was in Sacramento. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh, that was my last festival that I went to, and it was amazing, amazing, because you feel this like happiness, you feel this positive energy in the air, right? Everyone is dancing, everyone is just happy, right? And you just get so high from that. Like, you don't need drugs, honestly, because as a very sensitive person, right? As an empathic person, concerts are like amazing. You don't need drugs, you don't need anything. You can just feel and like soak up those positive emotions and it gets you like naturally high, right? So that's another cool thing. Okay, guys, another thing that kind of indicates that you're a healer, right, is that you are an amazing listener, okay? And guys, listening is definitely a skill, okay? A lot of us haven't been taught how to listen properly, right? So why is that, right? Well, because listening, right, it has to be basically it has to be done in a way that makes another person feel heard and understood, right? A lot of times when a lot of us are listening to another person, we're not actually hearing them, right? We're in our own thoughts, perhaps thinking about what we want to say to that other person while the other person is talking, right? Which means we're not really truly listening, right? We're trying to formulate our own thoughts and tell them what we want to say, right? So in turn, the other person doesn't feel heard. They don't feel understood, right? They don't feel as connected to us, right? And so, you know, um, and this happens also when you're operating in your ego, you know. If you're operating in your ego, it's going to be all about me while you're in a conversation with someone, right? So while they're speaking about maybe a house that they just bought, right, your ego is gonna come into play, right? And you're gonna, if you're not aware of it, right, and you're gonna want to one up them, right? So if you're operating strictly from your ego, there's going to be no listening to one another. There's just going to be competition, right? Who can who can I outdo, right? Can I because he just said he got a bigger house, I'm gonna tell him that I just got a job promotion, right? Or something like this. So instead of listening to another person and truly connecting with them, right, you're trying to one up them. You're thinking about different ways of what to say to make yourself look better, right, to another person. So it's not really listening, guys, right? It's not healing for any of the people involved, right? It's just competition. It's who is better than who, right? He's oh, he's on this level. Well, I'm gonna show him, right? I'm gonna tell him something that makes me look better, right? And I'm gonna one up him so I can be on this level. So there's no connection, right? There's no realizing and understanding that you guys really are on the same level, right? And we heal, right, by uh, being vulnerable with one another, right? We heal by, displaying our weaknesses too, right? We heal by being honest with one another, right? By opening up, right? And coming from the heart, right? That's why they call it the heart to heart conversation, right? It's warming, it connects you guys better, right? You're connected, you feel understood, you feel understood, you feel seen, right, by another person. So that's extremely healing, right? And when someone really listens to you without interruptions, without thinking about something else, right, then you feel understood, you feel healed. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe and comment, okay? I would love to hear from you guys. Please tell me your thoughts. I really love hearing from you guys. It's kind of strange to to have viewers, right? To have so many viewers, but not be able to see your faces. It's very it's sad in a way, because I'm speaking to a lot of people, right? But I don't even know who I'm really speaking to. Right, so I would love to see your faces. If I could see all of your faces, that would have been amazing. But unfortunately, I have to just look at the camera, right? But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video and have a good one, guys. Okay.